Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. As you can see, my cohort, if I can point the right way, this way, there we go. My co host, my cohort is here
Which way
with
did he
me.
go, Doc?
I
Which way
know,
did he
yeah.
go,
Which
Doc?
way did he go? Which way did he go? Always a pleasure to have Josh here. We're going to be talking. I'd been talking for a while about doing maybe once a month, starting a series of SK serial offender files and kind of talking about some of the lesser known serial offenders, aside from we all know about the Bundys and the Gacy's and the Dahmers and all that. But so we wanted to take a look at some of the lesser known ones. And a couple of month or so ago, I believe it was when we were doing our Missing Person Monday live stream, Missing in Honolulu, Josh and Chris, who was in chat, had brought up the Honolulu Strangler, and I'd never really read or heard anything about it, and so I was trying to watch their chat, so they piqued my interest with it, so I thought we would start with this one, and no better person to have on here than Josh, because apparently he knows a lot about it. He does have connections to Hawaii. He probably knows a lot more about this case than I do. And like I said, I always love having Josh on. So that is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So, Josh, for anybody who may be new here and doesn't know who you are, just tell them who you are, a little background.
Yeah, I'm Josh. As you can probably see, I love purple. It's always something that I have around. Even my Stanley Cup is purple.
I love that Stanley Cup.
And so I have a lot of. But you should see my office. I've got purple everywhere. Yeah, I have connections to Hawaii. My dad was in the army, so um, and a couple of our victims, had people connected to the military or family of the military. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
all right, Stormy, you got your lavender Stanley. Oh my goodness, awesome.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm reading ahead.
Oh, that's
I
it.
saw
There it
lavender
is.
out of the
Yeah.
corner. Yeah, out of the corner of my eye, and I went, "Oh!" And
I may
so
be the only person in the world that does not have a Stanley Cup.
I used to have a Yeti, but now it broke or something, and then I had my Stanley, and then I've just been using my Stanley.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, I do where lavender grows. My background there is I've just cared a lot about. I've been into true crime since I was in high school, uh, mostly through books and just friends, and then a few years ago, probably with the Delphi case, their got started with the online, and then last year I sort of kind of in a hodgepodge way got started with a channel. I also really got into where I found a sane community, or at least we call ourselves sane. I don't.
I think we are
With
more sane than a lot of them out there,
at
honestly.
least drama. We
Yeah.
may be a little loopy, but at least drama wise, the
Yeah.
good kind of loopy, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I
And
say. We're good loopy and no drama.
so
So,
through Steve's channel,
True
True
Crime
Crime
Web.
True Crime Web. Uh, Mr. Steve was on the DT show, Drunk Turkey show the other night too, and
Was
so
he?
yeah,
I missed it. Man, I'm going to have to go back and replay. I didn't know that.
yeah, check that out. Sorry, I didn't mean to plug another channel in here,
I
Dawn.
no, that is perfectly fine, especially Mr. Steve, True Crime Web. We love Mr. Steve. It is
Uh,
perfectly fine.
yeah. Okay, somebody says you're echoing, Dawn. I thought it was me because I have the
I
live.
think, yeah, I think it's on your end because I can hear it through my earbud.
You can hear it through. Is it my echo? Let me see.
Probably because I have my computer muted.
Okay. Let me. I might not be able to chat, but how's this?
Yeah, that's better. That's
That's
better.
better. Huh.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know how that
no,
was
well, I can
happening.
still hear. I can still hear it a little bit, but I think it'll be fine.
Okay. So I'm the one echoing a little bit. I'm trying to. Last time I had a device, didn't I? Let me. My phone. Make sure my. Check all the devices.
Check your device.
I
See,
don't hear anything, so it might be just yeah. I don't know what it is then.
there's no telling. On my live stream, something there's going to be something.
Okay.
All right. So let me see who is in here. Chris is here. Good to see you. Miss Paula is here. Stormy is here. Josh is here. In case you didn't know. Um, let's see if anybody's snuck in. Julie's guitar is here. Hello, Julie. Good to see you. Um, yeah, she's using her lavender Stanley. Chris says he has a white Stanley cup. Um, hey Mustang, she checked in. Says sorry, I'm going to be on a replay. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much, Mustang. Good to have you here. Miss Avery is here. Welcome, welcome. Now y'all talking about Stanleys. Y'all gonna make me feel bad. I don't have one. That's just too dang expensive. Anyway, let me see. Yeah, I don't hear the echo anymore, so I think we are okay.
How about now?
Nope, I don't hear it.
You don't hear
Well,
it?
yeah, I do.
I think my computer is using both microphones
Oh,
somehow.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I've checked mine and I've got my second self is muted and then my volume on my computer is muted. So I don't know. Who knows? Uh, it'll be all right. Yeah. Stormy says it is it's not a successful stream unless you got tech issues. This is true. I always have tech issues.
Okay. Let me see. Hopefully that clears up some of it.
All right. Yep, I'm not hearing anything.
All right.
Well, a little bit. That's all
A
right.
little bit.
It's all right.
All
We'll
right.
work through it. It'll be
We'll
fine.
work through it.
We'll work through it. Yeah, like I said. All right,
Okay.
so we will get started. It's not seeing it. Miss Paula says it is not seeing everyone. Absolutely. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about this is the first episode or live stream, whatever you want to call it, of our Hey Unscripted Chronicles. Miss PJ. Oh, good to see you. Good to see you. My fingers are getting ahead of myself here. Anyway, first episode of our serial offender files. We're going to be talking about the Honolulu Strangler. Once again, the case that I did not know a whole lot about until Josh and Chris brought it up. And we're going to be focusing mainly on the victims because, as always, they are the most important part of any case like this. And then, honestly, there's not really a whole lot regarding the offender. Now, we'll get to it later, but they did have one suspect that was arrested. But like I said, we'll get into that later. But yeah, so I'll just start out quickly by giving you just a little for anybody who may not be familiar with it. Let me go over to my Wikipedia, good old Wikipedia here. So this occurred in the mid 80s, 1985 to 1986. So the Honolulu Strangler, also known as the Honolulu Essayist, is a nickname. It was given to this unidentified serial offender who is believed to have taken the lives of 5 women in Hawaii, and I believe Josh, you said they were all on Oahu.
Yes, all on
Okay.
Oahu.
Okay. From 1985 to 1996. And it says that whoever it is the second known active serial offender in Hawaii after a man named Eugene Barrett. So we may have to, at some point, take a look at Eugene Barrett because I have not heard of him either.
He's interesting. But I think all of his victims were known to him, were relationship.
Okay. All right.
Victims. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the basic. So Josh, if you have anything to add to that, beside, because I know you've done a lot more research on this than I have.
Yeah, I think this really takes place during a time. This had been especially a time of distrust between the native populations, the Samoans, and the military. Matter of fact, I was talking to my dad later, and he was naming some streets that the army specifically forbade them from being there at night, and you could spend some time in the brig if you were caught there at night.
Oh, wow.
So there was a series of just some violent crime, and I think there's also this perception among, especially among people connected to native traditions there, that justice there is dependent on the powerful and the needy there. So sometimes to protect tourism, they kind of play hush hush and try to keep down low.
Yeah.
Keep it as quiet as possible.
Sounds familiar. I didn't say that. Anyway. Hey, Miss Farr, good to see you. Welcome in.
Hey, Farr. It's good to see you.
Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
Oh, sorry. I was
No, that's fine.
Go on. And I think that we're also talking about an area near the airport. on the kind of the eastern side of Hawaii, going facing towards Japan, and there's a the area we're mainly talking about is an area near what's called west of Honolulu, called or east of Honolulu, called Sand Island, and uh, and this whole area, you can see the airport. You see it as soon as you fly in to
Yeah.
Hawaii International, to Oahu International there, and so you see hangars, you see the airport, you see this island there, and prior to the 80s, that sand island in that area was full was a homeless encampment, or a kind of a bohemian encampment. And in 79 or 80, there was a big protest there because the governor was forcing people off of that island so that they could develop it uh, for uh, uh, for aviation like things. So this is kind of the and kind of where a large portion of the population, and where everything going on, if you're not surfing or going to, everything's just happening in Honolulu, and all the beaches. Waikiki is there. Matter of fact, one of
Hmm.
the victims was last seen at Waikiki at the um, Shorebird Hotel,
Yeah.
and so and that's a I've been there quite a few times at the Shorebird, and you can get some poi and some Hawaiian barbecue, and
Mm.
just a couple streets down there's some Starbucks there's I think I've got a picture going down. There's a Starbucks on each corner, so you can take a picture in the star.
Yeah.
I
There's
guess people
Starbucks
need their coffee.
everywhere. I'm telling you.
So yeah, so this is I think it took. Actually, I think they surprisingly put together a task force really quickly once they
Yeah.
realized. I think with the second victim,
Hmm.
um, and really tried to, uh, at least in the perception of law enforcement, they put things together and trying to figure this out and
Yeah.
trying to bring a resolution to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Avery had mentioned something again about the echo. That's on Josh's end. So it's not my fault this time. So we may just have to bear with it, guys. It's just one of those things that happens. Blame it all on Josh tonight.
Pick on Josh.
Pick on Josh tonight. No.
Maybe it's my voice. I'm just I need to echo
Yes, you
the
need to.
voice of.
Yes. Yes. All right. So I think now we will get into the victims. There were once again five victims. Um, and I will just give the basic information from Wikipedia, and then I'm sure Josh has probably researched maybe more into them, and he can jump in whenever he needs to, wants to as we are going through the victims. So the first one, and I apologize for the pictures, but these are literally the only pictures that I could find just on Google, my Google search of the victims. So they're not the best, but you know. So the first victim was Vicky Gail Purdy. She was just 25 years old. She was a military spouse. She was married to an Army helicopter pilot, and she had left to go clubbing in Waikiki on May 29th of 1985, but she failed to meet her friends. She was last seen by the taxi driver who drove her to the Shorebird Hotel, which is Josh was just talking about the Shorebird, and this is around midnight. Uh, so apparently she was going there to retrieve her car. Her car was later found in the hotel parking lot. So the next morning, her body was found in an embankment at Kihai Lagoon, and I apologize in advance for any mispronunciations of places and names. She was still wearing her yellow jumpsuit that she apparently been wearing before. Her hands were bound behind her back. She had been essayed and strangled. And her husband told police that he suspected that her death could be associated with her job, which was working at a video rental store that also handled, let's just say, suggestive films, if you get what I mean, the P word. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his reason. I'm not saying he had anything to do with it, but it was interesting that he thought that just because she worked at a video store that sold these kind of or rented these kind of store or films, that this might have something to do with her death. Uh, so apparently, two other women have been stabbed to death 1 year earlier. I'm assuming in that general area. So that's the basic information that I have. So Josh, if you have anything else that you found, feel free to jump in.
I think uh uh his Gary Purdy kind of described her as a fighter, and she
Yeah,
had great love for life. I guess that's why she was out clubbing Waikiki Beach. That's where you would go.
yeah,
Right down there, and King Street, and down in there. And nowadays, you could probably do, depending on the night times. If I would be worried, really, it's kind of surprising right there. Um, I would have been worried if you were clubbing on Hotel Street. That would be over the kind of east of there. But Waikiki and the Shorebird, even that late at night, should have been a popular area to go. Um, there was, I mean, she's seen by a cab driver reportedly dropped her off at her car parked at the hotel. I don't
yeah,
find that strange at all. I've actually been there. When I rent a car, I will go and park in that hotel parking lot if I want to spend time uh in that area, if I want to discover the beaches or go down through the mall or Pearl Ridge, uh, um, or any of the venues there.
yeah,
I would uh, definitely park there, and I would do everything I can not to move my car. Uh,
yeah,
so I would take the bus or something like that. This, of course, was at midnight, I believe. And anyway, and she apparently worked for a video store in Weehawken, uh, and that's up there near Schofield Schofield Army Barracks and the Wheeler Army Airfield, and
hmm,
that's actually where my dad was stationed. Um,
okay,
yeah, so very familiar with that area. A very small town. There's another town, I think, south of it, Mililani, um, that's actually more developed and stuff like that.
hmm,
Wahiawa is kind of like a um, very just a very small town. One high school, um, a couple elementary schools, and I think the high school is a local Catholic high school in that area. And
okay,
so, yeah, she was a cheerleader. She played softball. She loved to skate. She was just a very active person, according
yeah.
to her
Sounds like
health
she's very
care.
athletic. Yeah,
Um, this is the sad thing. I think. I mean, she was just. Um, uh, this was a time in their life, according to like the Honolulu Star Bulletin. They they were on. They were just. They had some trouble with their marriage, and they were um, and then they started when they came to Hawaii. I mean, they just started their relationship back up. Things were looking good. They were just thing, but uh, he was like saying it wasn't. she did party and stuff, but she didn't stay out all night. It wasn't her whole thing, to be gone all night. And
Yeah.
so um he was just, she had a lot of girlfriends, and some of them were a little skeptical in Gary's opinion. But at the end, it's um this one's he he described his frantic, described paging her in the morning, or
Mhm.
that night when she didn't come home,
Yeah.
paging her over and over. If you remember pagers, I'm sure
Yeah.
some of
Yeah.
us
I remember.
remember the
I do.
pagers.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But she had, yeah, she um searched for him. They had, um it was found in that parking garage. I've been in that parking garage where that hotel is
Oh my goodness.
there, at 10 p.m. Or let's see, he found her car with a fresh dent. He says there was a fresh dent in the car. She had called friends at 10 p.m. but never showed up as planned. Um, Cab driver said he had driven her from the Blue Water Cafe. I'm not sure if that still exists anymore or not.
Yeah.
Back to the Shorebird at midnight. So my question right there automatically is, what was she doing in the, why, she had parked, she had been at the Shorebird earlier, and
Yeah.
then wound up the Blue Water Cafe. You could walk it, I think, um,
Hmm.
and stuff like that, but took a cab back to the parking lot. Um, does the Josh, does the age range concern you? I think in some ways, I think when as we get further into this, just like we're talking about the cab in this, and I don't know what, there was a dent in the car. I
Hmm.
never. My question is, was the car operable? Because you're gonna
Yeah.
see a I was about to say a motif like in literature here, but uh, a commonality is this is going to be around transportation,
Yes.
with the victims. And but this is an odd place to need transportation in a way, and me, because it's a pretty busy nightlife, and there, um and it would be an odd place to go and say, hey, can I, if I were the perpetrator or something like that,
Hmm.
go up and say, hey, do you need a ride there? I just don't think anybody would do that in that location. Um so I wonder what had happened, because I don't even know if the point of if the dent has anything to do with her disappearance,
Yeah.
if uh if she went somewhere else,
Hmm.
if the car, maybe, she didn't meet up with her friends at 10 p.m., but um this is just what happened after that, when she, when that cab driver dropped her off. and
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
uh
Yeah. Mark had asked how many. There was five in all. Five in all that we know of.
right. And if you watch the Derek Levasseur, the um I'm trying to remember, breaking, I want to say Breaking Silence, but that's not it.
Hmm.
There's a episode with the detective, Derek
Yeah.
Levasseur, who goes to Hawaii and does this.
Hmm.
They introduce somebody, Elisa Owl, who, in 1982 was uh, was also uh, murdered a little bit further inland and up in the mountains, but
Yeah.
kind of disappeared. Transportation also, her car was, found, and they suspected a police officer in that at
Hmm.
that time. But they kind of, I don't know if they suggested that was, but they entertained it as a possible Honolulu, like, first one or something like
Yeah.
that. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah. And with
five.
these, and with these five, because I know a lot of them happened around or near like bus stops. So that had me curious, intrigued if it maybe was somebody who frequented the transportation, or possibly even a driver of some sort, or something of that nature.
I um yeah, it's kind of interesting. The cab driver. I think they cleared the cab driver,
Yeah,
and uh, the also where she worked. Gary described the place as sleazy, and I was talking to my
yeah,
mother earlier, and she said that street that it's on there. There's a place where all the residential side, and then the other side where there's kind of a nightlife and
yeah,
adult stuff
yeah,
going on there, and
yeah,
uh, and kind of that maybe the video store is like you said earlier, Don. But also the violence that happened there. Although Gary says I find it interesting that Gary was. He says he was unaware of those. I don't know how you would be in Waiua and not be aware of
yeah,
the previous and I don't know. I guess it's possible. There's over 1 million people on that island, and a lot of
wow,
things do go on. But people seem to be aware generally about that.
yeah,
I find. But he said he was unaware of that. I find it. He he says he left Hawaii and says he's not going to return until the offender is found. Um,
mm,
he said his life was over after Vicky passed, and
yeah.
um,
That's so
uh,
sad.
he said it was a nightmare to identify her.
Mm, I just cannot imagine. Cannot imagine.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I think the key there is what happened after. Where did she go after that cab driver? And
Yeah,
it sounded like he dropped her off at uh, at the car. He specifically
yeah.
said he dropped her off at her car,
Hmm.
and so
And so the car didn't move after that, right? I'm trying to keep them straight
right,
here.
because
Yeah,
Gary found it in the parking
in the
garage.
parking lot. Yeah.
Um,
So that would say to me, as an unprofessional, that something had to happen right there at the car, or she. And like you said, was the car operable? Did she take off? Would it not start? Did she take off walking, and then something happened somewhere,
elsewhere.
after she started walking, or did something happen at the car? It's
I
just
wonder how that parking garage was lit during the 80s. Um,
excellent point.
I wonder if it happened there in the parking garage.
See, yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, did it happen there? Did she take off walking somewhere because something was wrong with the car? You know,
yeah,
and I don't know how many people would have been around in the garage or passing by at that time. I mean, because it doesn't mention any, obviously, any witness. I think the only witness in all five of the cases it mentioned was the last one, in the Pesci one, where somebody supposed, and we'll get to that, where somebody supposedly saw this van with this guy in it, or somebody driving her car or something of that nature. But
yeah,
just not a whole lot.
and then she's found a couple miles away across in the Kahai lagoon, and
Yeah.
that's over there by the airport.
Hmm.
Um, uh, and that will become an important part of this whole story.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So is that all you had on her? I didn't want to. I don't want to cut you off before we move on to the next one.
No, I think that's all I have at the moment for Vicky.
Okay. All right. So the next one was Regina Sakamoto, and once again, I'll just give you the basic information here. So Regina was the second victim. She was just 17 years old. So we got so Chris was asking about age range. So Vicky was 25. So now we have the second victim is a 17, and she was still in school. She was in. I'm going to butcher this. I apologize in advance. Leela Hua High School. She had missed her bus from I'm butchering these names, from Waipahu to school on January 14th, 1986. She was last heard from by her boyfriend at around 7:15 a.m. When she called to tell him that she would be late. And then the next day, on January 15th, her body was found at the Kihei Lagoon. She was wearing her blue tank top, white sweatshirt, but it says that her lower body was unclothed. Once again, her hands were bound behind her back. She had been essayed and strangled, so same MO. She was planning on attending Hawaii Pacific University in the fall. And this second case led police to suspect that the same offender was responsible because of what I mentioned earlier, the MO. So that is the basic information.
Yeah, she was a sophomore, and she was active in her class council. She did banners for homecoming. She was kind of reserved, careful but kind. Um, she, according to her one of her classmates, she had uh, uh, even a postal worker thought she was just the kindest person in the
Yeah.
room, and the postal worker uh, mentions uh, oh, and I think the postal worker actually winds up being a relative. Said that there's no way she would get in a car with anybody else.
Yeah.
Um, she was actually going to school in Wahiawa at the high school there. Um, from uh, oh my goodness, I sat here and practiced with my mother how to say Waiapu. Waiapu.
See, so I'm glad I'm the only one having problems.
No, and I feel bad because a lot of people say, "Oh, because I was born here and I can't pronounce some of the names." And sometimes I know Hawaiian content creators. I apologize if you are a native, if I'm just messing these names up. With some of them are a little hard to actually rap out and say in the correct way. So
Mm-hmm.
apologies ahead of time. Uh, and but she was just shiny, blondish hair, cheerleader kind of smile, but didn't have quite the. She was enthusiastic, but still kind of reserved, enthusiastic about life. She was uh, born in Kansas, another place that I've lived in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, just it's kind of how the connections. One of the reasons that I follow this case is some of the connections that I've had with, and it might have to do with military life and moving around. That
Yeah.
I have some of that, but yeah, uh, and so this is moving around, but her mother was divorced. She was 17. Um, they had moved a couple times and wound up to that part, Waiapu and Oahu. Um, her family was kind of skittish about talking to the newspapers and stuff like that. So kind of that reserved and quiet part is, but
Yeah.
there's it's just I feel sad that there was a divorce going on. She
Mm-hmm.
was her um her stepfather. She took her. I think they had a close relationship. She took her stepfather's last name.
Okay.
There wasn't very. I haven't really found out much information about her bio father, but her they seem to
Yeah.
have. And he was a little worried about some of the boyfriends she chose to go to be with. Um, he thought she had a lot of freedom, and she was very independent in going places around the island, and like she was getting on the bus alone. And some of the bus stations, if you've ever been there, some of them get just full of beer cans. Your
Mm,
typical things, overgrown weeds.
yeah.
You sit down, you might have gum on your butt.
Ew.
Or something else,
Yeah.
you'll see these little creatures around there because there's probably a trash can. They're called mongoose, and
Mm,
they're like squirrels. So they
yeah.
look like a ferret, and they go everywhere and stuff like that. She was on her way to
Oh, man.
school. I don't know why she's going to school in Wahiawa, other than maybe, I think maybe that high school there is private,
Okay.
and maybe she was going there because that was a private high school, um, and it's a smaller high school there, um,
Yeah.
and so she was taking from Waiapu, which is some miles away. You have to go further in towards the military installation, the military base, the army, to get to Waihiawa. And so, yeah, um, the her stepfather was like, and he calls her his daughter, and
Yeah.
says, I just gave it to the Lord. I i i just pray. That's what he said. I have no
Yeah.
ill feelings or bad. I just pray. And so he didn't have confidence in the judicial system, um and said he doesn't think the case would be solved, because
Yeah.
he specifically calls out the greedy and the powerful on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, uh,
Wow.
yeah.
So I'm
So that's
sensing yeah, you keep mentioning this is the second one you mentioned about the Native people not really trusting the judicial system. So I mean, has that been
I
pretty much
I
from the start, or just
well, I think if you go back into the island's history, there is
yeah,
how the United States acquired Hawaii as a state,
yeah.
came under another true crime circumstance that we could probably talk about, that happened in the 30s,
Oh wow, yeah,
with involving a relative of a military person, and was kind of used as a jump to take over. There needed to be more control over the island. Um,
yeah,
but that seemed to be the excuse because it was a strategic, um,
yeah.
a strategic point for the military, and so yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, I'm just looking. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions or comment. Welcome to everybody who's been coming in. I've been trying to flash it up on the screen to let you know that I know you're here. So thank you everybody for being here once again. It's good to see everybody. Um, all right, so we're ready to go on to the next one.
One comment though, I do think there's something to, she wouldn't get into a car, and I wonder.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
comment in chat. I must have missed that one. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I worry about that, and what if she
Yeah.
didn't, if she wasn't going to get into a car, Um,
Hmm.
and there's a witness who describes a suspect in this case that we'll get into further, that describes a behavior that may be persistent.
Yes. Yes. So before I forget, because I keep trying to, I've got mental sticky note questions in my head. So you mentioned how many would you say, like a million people on the island?
I think it's over a it may be more now, but the growth population really hit over a
So I'm just
million.
wondering how. I mean, you would think that somebody would have seen something, except in, I mean, from, like I said, from when I found, there's just this one. I think in the fifth one that just mentions somebody, seeing somebody. But I mean, what are your thoughts on why, or maybe the reasoning of why nobody saw anything, or maybe it's just nobody has come forward?
It is it is kind of a smaller area that Waipahu, but it was 7:15 in the morning, and people
Yeah.
do take the bus out there and wait. And if she, but I find it she must have had to have because apparently missed that she missed the bus she was
Hmm.
intending on,
Yeah.
and this is a residential area kind of, I think. I'm not
Okay.
sure what bus, but it may have been a residential bus. Uh,
Yeah.
that so, but I tend to think that the bus station may have been near one of the overpasses, and you could see it from there. And
Okay.
maybe you could. I don't know about 7:15 a.m. in the morning, how well you would
Yeah.
see if somebody is down there,
Hmm.
if the perpetrator, the offender, saw her and
Yeah.
saw that she was alone, nobody
Yeah.
else at the bus station. Maybe there were people there in
Hmm.
that bus she missed.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. So these just seem, I don't know, I may be wrong. You can give me your opinion. Maybe this was like a crimes of opportunity for whoever it is, still unidentified, just crimes of opportunity, like you said, happened to see her alone after she missed the bus, and then with the first one, maybe you saw her alone at her car, or walking after she was dropped off by the cab driver. So maybe he was just one, out kind of cruising the streets or whatever, just looking to
What
see, who to come across.
was he cruising the parking garage? Because I think the parking garage would be difficult unless you were
Yeah.
in the parking garage.
Mm.
Um, but parking garages, have been known to be a place of abduction
Yeah.
before, and um,
Yeah. But see, we still don't know. Did she leave the parking garage? And we're talking about, was it Vicky? Yeah, the
yeah,
first
Vicky.
one. Vicky, did she leave the parking garage? And then that's when she was snatched or whatever.
Yeah, and that's something that we actually don't know where the point of abduction
Yep.
was. It's often listed as Waikiki
Mm-hmm.
and that hotel parking garage, but I often say
Yeah.
we just don't have
We don't know. Yep.
we don't know if that was the point of abduction or
Mm-hmm.
if she went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Um, I would imagine if she was going to meet up with her friends at 10 p.m. and didn't show, she would have got to the parking garage and maybe met up with her friends. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure if I remember if the cab driver said what time he dropped her off.
Let me see.
Of
It
course, it
said it
says
was around
Gary expect.
midnight.
Yeah, but but something to catch on here too. There is Gary thought she would be back by 9 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but apparently she was meeting with friends.
Yeah.
So, to me, I think that's a um a point where you need to kind of um yeah a point that you would need to clarify.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. I agree.
Why
All
didn't
right.
she
So,
meet up with her
yeah.
husband or why didn't she come back to the house at 9 p.m.? No.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember, did it say when? Did you see any place where did he report her missing and maybe what time frame? How long after 9 p.m. that maybe he might have called the police or started calling around to her friends trying to find her?
Hmm. That's a good question. I don't know if he waited all the way till morning or
Hmm.
if he called at that. Oh, there is a. Burp, burp. I think in one of the articles it does suggest it.
Yeah, I remember reading something. I'm looking through articles too that I had bookmarked here. Um,
Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, this one actually labels the video store as the adult bookstore.
Labels it what?
The adult bookstore, the
Oh, yeah.
Honolulu adult bookstore. Uh, oh, it's joined with the video store is joined with.
Uh, no, I'm not seeing anything.
It doesn't say when he. I couldn't find exactly when he reported her missing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chris knows a lot about this case too, so feel free, Chris, to chime in if we get
Yeah.
something
Most
off
definitely.
or because it's been a while since I remember like when did, but it seemed like he was paging her. In one of these it says he was paging her all night. So I wonder if he did
Okay.
report in the morning.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
um, but like the one article I was reading, he found her car with a fresh dent.
yeah.
Um, he described his search for her.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
this
it says that night he searched for her and found her car. So I don't know. I
okay.
would imagine maybe after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And then, but she was supposed to go clubbing, I guess, with friends, and I guess she didn't let him know.
Hmm.
Maybe their marriage wasn't as on the
Yeah.
looking upward as not suggesting that he would be involved in any way. I just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I find the instance that he expected her home back at 9 p.m. a little odd.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had bookmarked this. It's called serial dispatches.com, and uh, it's linked in the description box, but it just says that Gary Purdy, once again, we're talking about, I guess I should go back and move the slide back once more. Um, he was actually a chief warrant officer with the 24th Aviation Battalion. And he told media that Vicky had once knocked the F out of him during an argument and that he believed it would have taken two people to grab her.
In that
So,
parking garage too. I mean,
yeah. And then once
huh.
again, he mentions that he thought it might be related to her job at this adult video rental store. That it was rumored. So apparently, like I said earlier, it was rumored that two women had been stabbed years earlier at that location. So I don't know. Don't know if that Um, but yeah, I just thought it
Well,
was interesting that he said it. And you had mentioned that she was a fighter and a spunky and probably wouldn't have gone easily.
no, I do I do think there's something to that, and maybe and some of the victims here are described this way. So I'm
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I'm getting confused with my size here. Okay, so we did Regina. So did you have anything else on Regina?
um I think I was I think
Pretty
her
much. Okay.
I think I got everything out that I wanted to say about Regina. I just um
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So the third victim. Hold on. Got to go back to. Got to switch tabs here again. I've got too many tabs open as usual. Um. So the third victim was Denise Hughes. She was 21 years old. She was a secretary for a telephone company. She commuted by bus. So this transportation and bus is once again coming. That caught my attention. So she was active in her church. She did not show up to work on January 30th. She was found deceased in a Honolulu stream by three young fishermen on February 1st. Um, so her body, she had on a blue dress. She was wrapped in the blue tarp. Once again, her hands were bound and she had been essayed and strangled. And so then after this third one, and we'll get to it this in a little bit, is when the serial offender task force was established on February 5th, which is what 4 days after they found her.
Yeah, and um she was seen as jovial by um her colleagues, her coworkers. Her supervisor just said she always had a smile on her face, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what situation. She loved shopping and playing racquetball, um, and she would jump in even when everybody was sick. And she worked the reception desk, and she just always was smiling. Everybody just says she had that, and you could see that on her face right now. You
Yeah.
can see just the smile on her face.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she dined with her husband aboard a ship in Pearl Harbor the night before she went missing. Um, uh, the Honolulu stream is up there, I think, near Tripler Army Medical, which is where um, I was born. Um, and so that stream, and it has an overpass that goes over the stream. Sometimes it's hard to see if you watch the Derek Levasseur. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard to see that there's a body of water or a river or stream there.
Yeah.
Um, and uh, she was um she had just earned a promotion at work for
Oh
the
wow.
telephone company. She worked for
Mm-hmm.
Long Distance USA, and she had just received a promotion and had earned a raise. Um, uh, she was described as just the ideal employee, who her supervisor said.
Yeah.
They had only been in Hawaii for 5 months,
Oh wow.
and and um, she had just met. She had met her. Uh, she had met her. I don't know if they were married or not. I can't remember, but her significant other, Charles Hughes, a sailor, there at Pearl Harbor,
Mm.
and so things were looking up for her as well. I mean, just
Yeah.
seeing her there, she had um, she was just she had worked for telephone companies back in the Continental, AT&T, um, and uh, and it was just they just describe her family describes her move to Hawaii as just a big loss. Her
Yeah.
sister had just 2 years earlier passed away in a car crash.
Oh man.
Yeah, so she had, and I think that had a lot to do with why she chose to kind of go and meeting somebody in Hawaii
Yeah.
and maybe getting away from the trauma of losing
Yeah.
her
So
sister.
where did she live before she moved to Hawaii?
Um, I want to say but I want to say Georgia.
Oh, okay.
I want to say that. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. Um, and so she moved. Maybe Washington, Seattle area. I think it was actually.
Okay.
Um, um, that's a little bit of a difference. But yeah, she had just man, everything was just looking up for her. She was very outgoing. Again, another person. She loved hiking. She was involved with her religious group.
Hmm.
She had been working since high school, um, and she had been part of the professional business leaders, a young um, organization. Um,
Hmm.
she was she was empathetic and felt for people. Um, but in this one, unlike the other, her family kind of described that she probably would be willing to accept a ride from someone.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, and she lived and she did have where she lived in Pearl City. Although I don't consider, maybe it's just Pearl City that I've been to Pearl City. They described the street she lived on and the bus stop there as remote. I have a hard time seeing it as remote, but maybe it's a time difference
Yeah.
in that. I well, I guess in some ways, depending on what street, it could be you could find yourself isolated out there and nobody at the bus stop and nobody really around. But it's
Yeah.
still, some of these strike me as still nobody saw anything
I know. See,
really.
that's the way I am. But I just don't understand. I mean, yeah, nobody saw anything.
Um, but none of what I found really suggests that that was the point of abduction.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it just mentions that
Hmm.
she wasn't seen there, but her bus route was remote there. But we don't know if that was. I don't think she was actually seen there.
Yeah.
Just an assumption based on how she would have to, um, how she would. There's just a. I think this one is one where there's a large gap between. Um, there's the dinner with her husband, and I'm not sure if that timeline. And that was the night before,
Yeah.
and so her morning route. I guess you have that morning kind of similar to.
Yeah. And
Um,
it said that she commuted by bus. So once again, we have the bus. The bus keeps coming up.
so she probably had to take the bus, but I don't know if she got
Yeah.
on the bus.
That true. Yeah.
If
It just
and
said that she didn't show up for work on January 30th, and then she was found in the Honolulu stream on February 1st. So, I mean,
and what if it's another situation where the bus was late? Um,
true.
um, did she go and if the bus was late and she needed to be? To me, it sounded like she's a very punctual person.
Yeah.
Um, and responsible. Maybe she tried to get a ride from someone. And her family said she might be willing to do that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So this is,
Hitchhiking's pretty common. Even today, hitchhiking's pretty common on that.
oh, I
People
know.
think they're safe on in Hawaii. Uh,
Yeah. To
uh,
me, anywhere hitchhiking is not safe. Not safe. Would not
I don't know.
recommend.
I don't know if she would have done that if she would have headed towards a more populated area and tried to get a ride in Pearl
Yeah.
City. When I think about it, Pearl City is kind of out there where Pearl Harbor is, and
Hmm.
although Pearl City is not the most populous place on Hawaii, and I still would consider it kind of populated.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe of a after the turn of the century.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my experience with visiting there.
Right. Yeah. So before we go on, I just had a cute few comments I'd starred. Stuff is popping up. Chris, hold on. I pushed something wrong here. Hold on. Okay. Chris has said this.
Mm.
Excuse me. This case stuck out to me. Are you talking about a particular one? He said, to me, it's bizarre because way too many inconsistencies, too many things don't add up. Now, I don't know if you're talking about the case in general or one specific one. But yeah, to me, the biggest thing is just we don't know exactly where most of them were taken from. Nobody apparently saw anything. We do have the military connections. Some of them were, I think, two of them were married to military personnel. Then we have the bus stops. And then Miss Paula asked, "Do they have a suspect in mind?" Yes, we will get to.
Yes.
We will get to the suspect. And she had asked, "What year was this?" This was 1985 and 1986. So the mid 80s. Right. I think that was it.
Yeah, the bizarre inconsistencies get to me in this one, and even some bit of uh, how law enforcement acted, even though they acted with that task force and they had a suspect actually quite early on, and we're almost there to where he starts coming into picture.
Exactly. Yeah, but I think we got two more victims to get to, and then yeah. And to me, so we were talking about they seem to have similar personality types. A lot of them were very athletic, into sports, very outgoing, very ambitious, had good jobs. So that makes me wonder, could it be, whoever the offender is may have been, unless he was just following, maybe, I don't want to say stalking, but scouting out victims, if he knew maybe their day-to-day activities and kind of maybe what their past personalities were, you know what I'm trying to say, or if it was just, like I said, just random crimes of opportunity.
Well, and the one that I think really like Regina kind of doesn't fit that personality way. It
Yeah,
kind of looks like an opportunistic.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. To me, it just seems it does. This is just my opinion, that it seems kind of like a. But once again, since we don't know exactly where they were taken from, that it may have been just crimes of opportunity. He's out cruising the streets or whatever and happens across whoever he happens across. Then if the timing and the situation is right, so to speak, then that's when he would take them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next we have Luis Medeiros was next. She was the fourth victim. She was 25. She lived in Waipahu, but she had gone to Kauai. Apologies once again for mispronunciations. She had gone to Kauai to meet her extended family because of the death of her mother, unfortunately. She took a late night flight back to Oahu on March 26th, and she told her family she would get home by bus again, from the airport. So she disembarked the airplane and then just disappeared, apparently, after she got off the airplane. Her body was found April 2nd near Waikele, a stream, by road workers. Once again, her upper body was clothed. She was wearing her blouse, but her lower body, she was nude or unclothed. Once again, hands bound behind the back. So at this point, it says, according to Wikipedia, that the police set up a sting operations using police women around this Kihei Lagoon and the Honolulu International Airport. So I don't know if you did any research into that aspect of it.
They did after Denise Hughes. I was part of that task force kind of put together, and that was the solution
Okay.
that they came up with. And they put them at the airport and around that lagoon. And um, oh, Mustang's back.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, Mustang's back. And she's getting in
Good to
links. Thank you, Mustang. Before I forget, I appreciate it.
And so, what is his name? Chester Hughes, I think, was part of that task force. I think he's in the. I think he's in the Derek Levasseur um, breaking. It's gonna bother me that I can't remember the or
I do the
the
same thing. Yeah.
um uh it's Derek Levasseur. So
Hmm.
if you know Detective Derek Levasseur from
Yeah.
Crime Weekly,
Yeah. I
um,
watched that. Yep.
I think it's called Breaking the Silence. I may be wrong. Um, but anyway, he on there. I think Chester Hughes is the one that led that up, but nobody took the bait. They weren't able to
Yeah.
drum up any leads uh, by using decoy women. That sounds weird, but
Yeah. But hey, that they
decoy
do that.
detectives.
Yep.
And they put um, detectives out there in that lagoon. I wonder if he knew that.
I don't
If the
know. See, that's
perpetrator.
what makes me think if he was just sitting around watching, um, you know, I don't know.
I wonder if somehow he was able to get um, because it's a small island and
Yeah.
things travel fast. I can imagine if you tried a sting like that, you would have to be really good at it. Not
Yeah, that's
saying,
what I was
not
gonna say.
doubting law enforcement there, but you would have to be
Yeah.
really good at it to pull it off,
Yeah.
especially the bigger that sting operation is. And this
Hmm.
sounded quite large
Yeah.
for it.
So I'm sure somebody is like, maybe said something to a wife or a spouse or a friend. Hey, we got this going on, but don't tell anybody. And of course that person tells somebody, and then that person tells somebody. So yeah, things like that get around.
Especially on that island.
Yeah, I live in a very small town, so I know things get around really fast.
As populated as it is, I mean, among the locals, I think things get around
Yeah.
there. Were you? Did you get through all of Luisa's?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. She was. Her the Honolulu Star kind of describes her as someone who had lived much of life before she knew how to live it. Kind of a um she was a part of a large family on Kauai, and but she was independent. But um, the Oahu was kind of getting a little big for her. She liked to go back to Kauai. Um,
Mm,
uh, uh, and she called it home, and
yeah.
she had been in trouble with the law a little bit. She kind of lived with beach people on the time, and this is um um and when they say beach people, it may be that bohemian style that was on Sand Island. By this time, I think they had moved people off Sand Island for and started developing that island for industry. It's an industrial aviation. Like there is a park still there, and it's kind of developed. Um, um,
Okay.
and was she the one? No, no, she wasn't found. Um, we're getting to the one. The next one is the one found on Sand Island. Um,
Yes.
yeah. And she was never been married, but she had 3 children. Her daughter was in a foster home.
Mm,
Um, she her family in Kauai worried about her a lot in Oahu. Um, she was uh yeah, she disappeared from that bus stop again near the airport. This one was a
yeah.
bus. And I'm pretty sure I think I've been to this, depending on which, if it's the bus station I'm thinking of, it's a bus
Hmm.
station when I've gotten off the airport and going, and if I, depending on where I'm going, if I don't rent a car, I
Yeah.
probably have been at that bus stop, if it's the one I'm thinking about.
Hmm.
And so she was last again seen there, last seen there, but she had been just returning from her mother's funeral. Um, what a thing! I mean, to arrive back,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you're sending off signals at that time. I coming back from,
Yeah.
um, but she had, but they describe her as finally have founding peace with herself. Um, even though her mother had passed away, they had had a previous misunderstanding a little bit, but they had apparently smoothed it over. Um, and so um, she was just, yeah, that large family. She was just, it seemed like
Mhm.
family was important to her. She had 10 in her family.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
uh,
Yeah.
but if you add in half sisters and stuff, there were like 24
Wow. Yeah. Extended family,
for
or yeah, blended family. Yeah.
blended families.
Wow.
And at the time in 1986 here, they were trying to adopt the family in Kauai was trying to adopt her little daughter, who had
Okay.
been in a foster home. Um, she had had some trouble with working with a social worker. She
Mm.
was a track star though, and she earned a lot of medals. She was
Yeah.
athletic,
Hmm.
um, uh, but she was only 90 pounds,
Wow.
compared to like some of the others. But
Yeah.
she was fast, and she was a fighter. She was again described as a
Again,
fighter.
yeah. See, that's what gets me. Yeah, because that's what Vicky's husband said about Vicky, was that she was a fighter.
And yeah, that I just, wow, this one took, in 25 years old, just, I think it's apropos that she just lived a lot of life, that
Hmm.
maybe most 25-year-olds don't necessarily live. But
Yeah.
Kauai's kind of small, and so it's a small, and Oahu wasn't her island, and I can
Yeah.
imagine Oahu. There's just a lot of people going back and forth, even though it has a population of 1 million. There's a lot more people there, uh,
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
because people come from vacations
Hmm.
and business, and
Yep.
um, it's amazing to me how crowded that island. And I've heard other people who have lived on other islands and other content creators from there just describe going to Oahu could be a big city experience. I kind of relate it to where I live now. I'm not in a major, huge city,
Hmm.
but I'm not surrounded by any other for hours
Yeah.
and hours and hours in any direction. And
Yeah.
so when people come from small towns to I describe it as a small town,
Yeah.
but it's large for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're overwhelmed. And I could see something very similar going on here. And again, we're dealing with a bus stop.
I know that. See,
The
that's
last
what keeps
scene.
sticking in my head is bus stops. So that makes me think: was the offender hanging around bus stops and looking for you? Because you mentioned maybe her giving off some kind of vibe. She'd lost. Come back from her mother's funeral, and maybe he was targeting or looking for maybe vulnerable people, vulnerable women. At bus stops. I don't know. I cannot make head nor tail sense of just.
Yeah, with transportation and the bus, it's called the bus, by the way.
Hmm.
It's
It's
the
just
bus
called the
system.
bus.
It's called the bus, and you
Okay.
see it in big letters. And
Mhm.
they've got new buses here, but I think during their times it was still a kind of a yellow orange coloring, kind of like Waterburger or something. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Oh God, I love water. You had to mention
w- w-
Whataburger, didn't you? Oh,
Winnipeg. And it goes. You can take the bus and get around the island in 2 hours. I mean,
yeah.
that's how small the island is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, and and so you can get around that island pretty quickly. Uh, Depending on one, there's like H1 and H2. Those are the two highways, and you're seeing
Yeah,
those converge in Honolulu. Both
yeah,
of those H1 and H2.
yeah,
So there's not many highways, there. Um, so to me, I mean, you could sit and watch that bus. The airport is a daring place. I think even in '85 and '86.
yeah.
I don't know.
Because I would think that there'd be a lot of people, obviously, around an airport, you know,
Yeah.
that could have seen something.
Um, could have seen something. I don't know. I've arrived in Hawaii, and there's absolutely like in the airport, and other than everybody goes and rents their car, but if you intend to take the bus, you might be an
Mm,
odd one out, depending on um, depending on um, what time you get there and stuff like
yeah,
that. Because
yeah,
I've been there and there's nobody there. There's hardly anybody. So maybe hit one of those times and she was the only one there.
yeah.
I
Like I said, once again, maybe opportunity, crime of opportunity.
Yep.
Just yeah, because I've never been to Hawaii, but a few years ago, my family went. My mom, my brother, his kids, some of his in-laws' family, and that's what they did. Is they when they got there, I believe they rented a car and just drove, you know, to
Mhm.
wherever they, whatever they were going to do. Um,
I I went there on vacation once with my significant other, and we tried the bus, but it was so packed
hmm
that we wound up going back and renting a car. So
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, my brother is, and it's Echoes actually, Echoes, and
oh,
his kids and
Echoes.
mom, and yeah, it was the ones that went.
Where's our
I
troll
don't,
today? Where's
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing today. There's no telling. With him, I never know. With him, you never know. But yeah, so and he was the one that was doing the driving, so that's scary in itself. But anyway, when they were on Hawaii, and but I just remember them talking about. I think there's this one. I don't even know what island they were on. I'm assuming whatever island that the tourists go to. I don't know.
probably
But driving
Oahu?
around this, is there like one road or interstate that kind of goes just around the entire one of the islands?
H1 and then H2 goes up the middle, kind of.
Okay, so yeah, I think that sounds familiar. He's talking about just going, I think the one that maybe went around and whatever, and yeah, he
H1
was,
probably.
yeah,
And if you're on that bus goes all the way around, stops at
yeah,
all the surfing
yeah,
uh places, Diamond Head, all the
yeah. They went to
military
Diamond
arms.
Head. Yep.
Diamond. Yeah, if they're Diamond Head, it's definitely Oahu.
Yeah, yeah, they went to Diamond Head. Yeah, I remember them. I know for sure they went there.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and you'll see all of the location where we're talking about is to the east of Diamond Head,
okay, okay,
or to the west of Diamond Head.
okay. All right. So was that all you had on Louise, or did you have anything
Um,
else?
yeah, she just she was looking forward to go back home. She was looking forward to
Yeah.
return to
Mm.
go back. Oahu wasn't doing it for her.
What one do? Yeah, it wasn't for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so sad. All of these just obviously so sad. All right. So the last one, number 5, was Linda Pesh or Pesci. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. Once again, I apologize.
I
So she
isn't
was the 5th. Go ahead.
was it isn't Joe Pesci's name spelled the same way?
That's what I was trying to think because that's what I thought of when I saw the name. So maybe it is Pesci. So I'm just going to say Pesci. I'll just call her Linda. So she was the fifth victim, the last known victim. So, because once again, there, is there more? There could be. Um, so she was 36. So that makes her the oldest one, right? Correct? Because the other ones were in their 20s, and then the second one, Regina was just 17. So according to Linda's roommate, she left home on the morning of April 29th. She was expected to be home late that evening due to a pre-scheduled work meeting. So the next morning, after being told that Linda had not shown up for work and that her car was parked on the side of the Nimitz H1 viaduct, her roommate was the one who reported her missing. And so this is where, so everybody's been asking about the suspect. So this is where the suspect first comes in, as mentioned. So a man named Howard Gay had told police that a psychic told him that a body could be located at Sand Island. So then on May 3rd, he actually took the police to a specific location. They didn't find anything. But police then searched the entire island, and they did end up finding Linda's body on Sand Island. She was completely nude, once again, hands tied behind her back.
I have
So this
more to.
is
Oh, go ahead.
no go. You go right ahead.
I have more to say about that. Right there. There's
You
a lot more detail
go
about.
go for it.
But I'll get through Linda first,
Okay,
and then we'll
absolutely.
talk about. Uh, she she had quite a life. She had been a uh, a night worker or a dancer in
Mm-hmm.
Guam. She lived in Marin County, California. She was used to kind of the bohemian communities with
Yep.
Zen Buddhists, rock stars, hippies,
Yep.
um, uh, things like that. Uh, she was she lived. She was actually coming to Hawaii to get away from like the California wildlife,
Yeah.
and things had changed for her after giving birth to her daughter, Corrine, and she was known as street smart, kind of street wise, very confident, very tough lady.
Mm-hmm.
Again, described as a fighter.
Yes. Yep.
This is what grabs me here. This whole every single one just
Mm-hmm.
has some sort of fight element to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now she kind of fits closer more to what you think of like the often stereotype in the serial offender type
Yeah.
world. If you were to go by just look by lifestyle or things like
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, but she kind of lived in that um lived that kind of life uh in in California. She she was she was part of a single mother household. Father had left at 14. Um, she studied psychology in California at the College of Marin. Um, but she was definitely the hippie.
Yeah.
um,
Nothing wrong with hippies.
right. I think Diane, her sister, described we were like night and day. Her and she had moved to when she moved out there to Hawaii. They hadn't seen much of her or communicated much with her. She kind of lived her life out there. Um, she just had um, but she had been there about 8 years, I think, in Hawaii, and her family was offering to pay her way back to California because her
Okay.
mother was ill.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
and so um, And so, but she was very active. She was people oriented, but she's described as having an opinion on absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Uh,
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 I know
again,
several people like that.
described as bold, fearless. She'd walk out into traffic and make a scene.
Oh
Uh,
man. Okay. So she
uh,
definitely would get attention.
she would like to shock people, especially if you were on a more traditional track or role. She would like
Hmm.
to shock you or surprise you or get that rise out of you.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, and so, again, she also worked for a telepage company there, cell phones and
So
stuff
is
like
that the
that.
third one now or second?
I think there was only two, right? Two that
Yeah.
kind of had communications backgrounds,
Yeah.
or was there a third one that had kind of?
I'm trying to think. There may have just been two.
I think it was just Hughes and Pesci that
Yeah.
was there. So that is Linda in a just, oh my goodness. Um, she, and I could tell probably those hoop earrings
Hmm.
um uh and um and for and having that kind of, sometimes you hear about people with this kind of really shock and awe personality and
Hmm.
clubbing and things like that. Uh, you often kind of picture that somebody maybe younger, but she still had that spunk at
Yeah.
36.
Yeah. Like I said, I think she was, yeah, the oldest. Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know. At 36, I still had spunk. It was slowly going away, but, you know, um, so Black Knight had said, sounds like he seeks out athletic types. I know, I'm telling you, their personalities seem just so similar the way that you described them. And what gets me is because he mentioned athletic types and that a lot of them were fighters. So that makes me even wonder even more. You would think that if they're athletic and they're fighters and you know wouldn't go down easy, that makes it even more weird to me that nobody saw anything, nobody heard anything, unless it was just in just nobody around in a remote area or you know whatever the case may be. But that's an excellent point. I thought
Hey,
that Black Knight made.
oh, sorry, I've got to take a rest stop for a second.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll be right back.
All righty. I will get caught up on some more comments while we're. Chris says, sounds like the feds brought in people who are familiar with a certain serial offender, Gary Ridgway. Yes, we're going to be talking about that when we get to the task force part. Yeah, they did. I believe some of uh, the people that were brought in for the task force were on that task force also. So you're correct. And Junior, there he is. Junior is here. Hello, Junior. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. It is good to see everybody here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Very interesting case. So, what do you guys think so far? I mean, just I don't know. To me, so we got the similarities to me that stand out, or the bus stops, um, the similar, like Black Knight said, the athletic types, like Josh just said, very outgoing fighters. You know, that would you like I said, you would think they would put up a fight if somebody was trying to snatch them, and that just makes me wonder even more how. Just nobody heard anything, saw anything, but then once again, then we go back to we don't know exactly where they were taken from. I mean, it's just this case has me baffled, just baffled. Anyway, but it's good to see Junior here. He is in Michigan. I hope you're doing well, sir. Um, see if I missed any other comments. Yeah, Chris has said Pesci spells his name Pesci. Gotcha. And hers is what? Pesce. So it might be Pesh. I know once again, for the 100th time, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing anybody. Oh, Josh is back. Sorry, I didn't see it. I was running my
Hey,
yap.
sorry, I
Anyway.
had to take a little bit of a rest stop.
Oh, I understand. Um,
Oh, yeah, I heard Chris's comment about the feds. Yeah, they
yeah.
brought in people from because the Green River offender was
Mhm.
at a similar time. They
Yep.
also had a similar suspect, or
Mhm.
a suspect on the island that wound up also being considered a
Yep.
suspect in the Ridgeway, or in the before Ridgeway was caught.
Yep. All right. So we're ready to. Were you done with Linda? Did you have anything else for her or about her?
Uh, Not specifically, but I do want to
Okay.
talk about what you had said earlier about Howard Gay and leading them to. Um,
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yep.
yeah, it's a bizarre. This is where this story starts taking a strange um, turn. Um, as I said, Howard, and I've heard reported that Howard claimed to be a psychic. No, he told police he was a psychic, or he
Yep.
told police that that a psychic told him
Told him. Yep.
a body could be located at. They took him out there,
Mhm. Mhm.
and he led them to pig bones. What turned out to be pig bones.
Really?
Yeah, which is so I and they were kind of sitting there and kind of giving up on the search, like, okay, this guy's obviously planted pig bones out here and is claiming to
Exactly.
be part of. Well, there was a couple. I don't know if he was still there or if they had moved, but there was a couple on the there picking up cans. And Sand Island is just this. It had a few years ago had just been cleared of a homeless or a bohemian like community
Mm.
like thing. I think I mentioned that earlier. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of I mean, if you watch a documentary called The Sand Island Story, it was a community built out of tin and metal and buses and leftover airplane parts and uh, people were making their own electricity and they had a community watch person. It had been going on since the 40s in
Yeah.
this in on this part. Uh, but people didn't like it because when you come in on the planes, when tourists come on the planes, you see this whole because the airport's right there.
Yeah.
Uh, and so this is where we're talking about. I mean, if you're on Sand Island, you're going to hear planes coming
Yeah.
back and forth, and it's on the other side of Hotel Street, probably where uh, um, uh, Linda and um,
Mhm.
was it Linda and who was our other partier that was going
Um.
clubbing? Uh,
Was it the first? Was it Vicky? Let me go back.
yeah, Vicky.
Yeah, Vicky.
Vicky. They
Yeah.
would have been right there, and you could see Sand Island from those areas. Maybe not the Shorebird Hotel, but if you were out clubbing and at that cafe where Vicky was, and stuff like that, you would see Sand Island there. Um,
Yeah.
and so this couple was out there picking um, up cans and things like that. There, seashells and things. You can
Mhm.
find apparently you can find all sorts of things on this island.
Yeah.
They come across the body and
Okay.
Linda's body,
Mhm.
and they run. I think the police were still on the scene. They run
Yeah.
over to the police and say, "Hey, there's a woman, a body over here."
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
and yeah, so that I mean, if he is the offender, what is that all about?
Yeah. Why
He,
would he lead them to the pig bones and not the actual body? Oh, did we lose Josh?
uh oh,
I can hear you. Your
Do you
camera
still
went
hear
out.
me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
My
Yeah,
camera.
your camera went out.
Let me. Okay. Well, I'll figure that out here in a moment here.
Okay.
But yeah, what had happened there? Oh, my camera's doing something. But anyway, they they so the police now think, okay, that's weird. So they take an
Yeah.
extra strong look at Howard Gay. First of all, he fits the description.
Yep.
And people had seen a white cream colored van in that area. And so, and somebody had seen a vehicle somewhere around 7 p.m. near that area.
Yeah.
And so this kind of gets really bizarre when you start talking about Howard Gay.
Yeah.
And he takes a polygraph, but apparently it is inconclusive.
Mm-hmm.
He's his he's apparently seen, and Linda had his name in a in like an address book or something like
Yes.
that.
Yep.
He and right now I see where you're got a list of what he kind of fled to the island after he was eventually arrested for this crime, and they brought him in, but the prosecutors couldn't decide what was, going on with.
Yeah. Let me so I'm assuming that I found this just as picture, but it was kind of a list of why he became a suspect. So he was a former U.S. Army ranger and mechanic. He lived on Sand Island or in Sand Island. He was known by his middle name. He was married to a wealthy socialite, apparently based in Honolulu. She had been who had been incarcerated in his youth for a series of violent assaults. He was a suspected essayist. Said that he violently beat up a female when she refused to get a ride from him. So I'm wondering if maybe because like I said, we don't know where they were taken. Could it be that they were walking and he offered them a ride, and that's how he got them?
Well, there was a marina club nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There was a marina club nearby that where a witness came forward, and they feature her in the Derek Levasseur episode.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't give her name because she was afraid of retaliation or stuff.
Yeah.
But apparently, she identified Howard Gay as someone that came into her cafe and would. He was always nice, polite, a smooth talker, but would sit at a specific table every time. Would sort of look down and keep to himself in some ways, but was polite when you talked to him.
Yeah.
But would always offer her a ride and kept pushing for a ride because she would take the bus too. She took the bus back home.
The bus again.
Yeah. And he would come by and say, hey, he was real nice about it, but something told her, nah, I don't, I'll.
That instinct.
Yeah, because the bus does run late on that island.
Yeah.
The bus does run late. They just pick up. There's no. My suggestion when you go there, the buses the bus will arrive when it arrives, and it will always,
Uh-huh.
especially if you're on the western side and on the north side where all the surfing areas are,
Hmm.
that bus is going to be full.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and my mother describes being pregnant with me and going on the bus, and people were
Uh-huh.
very would uh make would be very kind to her on the bus and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
anyway, uh, you would go. Um, anyway, he kept pressing and pressing and pressing, and eventually he kind of got a little bit more aggressive with it. And she describes the situation where she goes, "No, I'm not taking." Gets really,
Hmm.
"No, I'm not gonna go with you." Even though I think something had happened to the bus, or the bus was out of service or something,
Yeah.
um, or or it may have been too late um,
Hmm.
for the bus, and he was offering that ride because he had stayed there to,
Hmm.
Eventually, she just got a biker that another kind of regular was in there, and he says, "Is this person bothering you?"
Hmm.
And she said, "Yeah, yeah." He said, and she said there was a total world of difference because she said, "I trusted him, the biker, and I got on and rode with the biker back home,
That's saying
and she
something.
got home safely." Uh,
Yeah.
but she would
Not saying
not
that
get.
bikers are all bikers are bad. Obviously, I have family members that are bikers, so
Yeah, but the biker was like, "Yeah, I won't."
yeah.
Yeah, and so she describes that. What makes Howard Gay really interesting is that he didn't live in Sand Island.
He didn't. Okay.
No, he didn't live in Sand Island.
Okay.
But he trying to he what makes him interesting is because all the assaults were done by somebody according to the autopsies and to the medical examiner, um, done by somebody who had had a vasectomy.
Hmm.
And
Which Howard Gay apparently did have a vasectomy.
uh, and apparently we know that through his ex-wife because the law enforcement isn't saying that. And his ex-wife kind of describes him in a way and kind of confirmed that he had the polygraph and that it came back. Um, and I think she's even the one that um, kind of described. I um, he he worked for Flying Tiger. It was a aviation type company, and it
Okay.
was right near that
Interesting.
Kahai Lagoon.
Hmm.
That Flying Tiger, their work area, and
Hmm.
stuff like that. They were all. It came out during the Derek Levasseur when they were talking to one of the former law enforcement that they were all bound with paracord, which is um,
Hmm.
a World War II type of parachute cord.
Yep. Yep. I know
Um,
it well. My grandfather actually was in World War Two. He was a paratrooper. So yeah. Yep.
and they were all bound with this. The one that was an outlier was Louise,
Okay.
bound, but she was still bound with cord.
Hmm.
And I think it was still the parachute cord, but she had a tarp, and she was found in a different area of fishermen. Yeah, up there, kind of further inland.
Yeah. That it was she the one that the three fishermen found her,
Yeah, the three fishermen, and so
and she was the only one wrapped in anything, right? She wrapped in
yeah,
the tarp.
wrapped
Okay.
in the tarp and found in a different area,
Yeah.
but under, and appeared to be dropped from the overpass,
Okay.
um, as if from a vehicle, maybe. Um,
That would make sense. Yeah.
and um, so that makes him. He did leave the island after his son. Um, After his son, I believe the same year, 86. his son, get this. This is where this gets so strange. His son is changing the tire, helping a poor stranded person. They never describe if this person is a woman or
Mm,
a family or alone. But as
mm-hmm.
he's changing the tire, another car strikes him, and
Oh, hits him.
he's unalived. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and apparently Howard Gay goes absolutely despondent, and um, and then uh, has a conversion to Christianity and starts really proclaiming the Bible and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and moves to California. Um,
Yeah, it's so funny how a lot of these, i- if he is the offender, no, we don't know, but there, I mean, there's a good case to be made for it. Yeah, but it's funny how people like that find religion after, which is a good thing. I'm always for, people finding religion, whatever will it, whatever, or finding something after, tragedies happen or whatever. But yeah.
and so and the cases stop after he leaves. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just a crazy circumstance where um uh yeah, he did drive the route where the victims, well, to me, when you say that, I think that's a little bit, it's a small island. There's Highway
Yeah.
1, Highway 2. Everybody
Yeah.
drives the same route.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Because you
uh,
said basically there was two routes. Yeah.
well, I mean, there's a lot of other
Or
routes and stuff like
yeah, but
that,
the main routes. Yeah.
but they all involve the main routes that you would take. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there. I think really what gets me is the psychic told me there was a body, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the psychic was ever identified. Like, okay, I
Yeah.
would be as an investigator. Well, what's the name of this psychic?
Yeah. And in my
Or
opinion, I, I don't even, was there even a psychic, or was it just his way of leading them to, well, the pig bones, but eventually finding the body, just because maybe allegedly he was the one that put it there, but he said, "Oh, the psychic told me."
mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, Mustang says pretty much no, he's responsible. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's there. I don't believe in coincidences. I just don't believe in coincidences.
yeah. There's a lot of coincidences with this man and his connection to Sand Island. I mean, if you are at his Flying Tiger in that Kahei lagoon,
Hmm.
if you look across the body of water, it's where the airport is. If you look across that body of water, you see Sand Island,
Yeah.
and you're right there at the where and so he's he's pretty interesting, and he had access to all those types of materials. They did do a
Hmm.
sketch of his he did have a cream colored van that looked like a sketch that they released after
Yeah.
um uh
After Pesh, the last one,
yeah, I think Pesh
or was it
was the
before?
one where
I
they
think it was
released.
Pesh. Yeah.
I think it was Pesci that was the one that was where they got the van and the witnesses that
Yeah.
saw a suspicious van, and there was a sketch done of that van. Unfortunately, not a
Yeah.
sketch of him, mainly
Yeah,
because there
see
was.
that we talked about that. I looked for sketches, but like I said, if nobody has come forward, except for the one that said, the van and the person or somebody maybe driving her car, that, I mean, apparently nobody saw him. Um,
If he is the offender, he
if, yeah,
put himself into the investigation.
yeah. But see, a lot of times offenders will do that, though. I mean, it's not unheard of. I mean, I'm not saying it's him, but you know,
There
they
was
will.
an. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
There was there was another person that they were looking at. I think his name was William or Bob Stevens.
Okay.
And it kind of came out in the Derek Levasseur. He was also a suspect in the Green River killer, or sorry, uh,
It's fine.
serial offender case
Yeah.
in Washington, and so and had connections to the island, I think.
Yeah.
And so and they explore that one in that episode, kind of worried that maybe they got tunnel vision with Howard Gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he is an odd character that,
Mm-hmm.
and you have somebody that identified him in a lineup
Mm-hmm.
that so not of any of the, it was that person at the Marina Cafe
Yeah.
that said, and I do believe that Marina Cafe is near that Flying Tiger. Um, I don't think it's too far
Okay.
away,
Yeah.
and so that puts him in the area.
Yeah.
I know it's a small island and everybody's in the area, but
Yeah, but still, I mean, like I said, I don't too many coincidences for me. I mean,
yeah, and
so I want to just really quick. Black Knight had asked the time span. So Vicky Purdy, the first one was May 29th, 1985. And the last one, Linda, was May 3rd of 1986, I believe. So that is the time span between between the first one and the last one, the last known one. I was trying to go back and look and make sure I had my dates right. Yeah, she left home. Linda left home on the morning April 29th, and then on May 3rd is when she was found. That's when Howard Gay took the police to Sand Island. The whole psychic thing. So yeah. So basically between May of 1985 and May of 1986. So about a year. About a year.
about a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, strangely enough, yeah, he's definitely and lived in California until he was 60, and I think he passed away in 2003.
Yes. Let me get
And
down. Let me
so,
see. So he was. Let me get down to. So he was arrested on May 9th as the primary suspect. His ex-wife and girlfriend described him as a smooth talker. I think you mentioned that. So they also provided potentially incriminating fetish clue. They both recalled engaging in bondage activity. They allowed him to tie them up while they were having relations, hands behind the back. And then his girlfriend also related that on the nights after they had fights, he would leave the house, and that these were coincidentally the same nights that the homicides were presumed to have occurred. So he lived in Ua Beach. He worked as a mechanic, as you mentioned, at air freight carriers along Lagoon Drive. This says he was interrogated, failed a polygraph test. You said it was inconclusive, and then he was eventually released. So, just I guess from obviously lack of evidence. Circumstantial at best, I guess.
yeah,
So
that's what gets me.
they did follow him around. It says there's a $25,000 reward for information was put out by private businesses. And then 2 months after he was arrested, a woman did come forward, claimed that she saw a man with an unnamed victim on the night of it says her murder or homicide. I don't know which one she's referring to. And she's the one that you mentioned earlier that successfully picked him out of a photo lineup as the man that she saw with this unnamed victim. And and then he passed away in 2003.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just like I said, there's just I'm not saying he's the one. Obviously, I don't know. We don't know, but there's just lots and lots of coincidences around Mr. Gay here.
Yeah, there's just a lot around him, and if he's not the offender, he sure did get involved, which is not unusual.
Yeah.
Does it say something? I mean, the odds. Let's say he's not the offender.
Hmm.
And he said, and he's either. Well, okay, let's. If he's not the offender, and the psychic story is made up, what are the chances that you would go and
To the island.
to the sand island
Hmm.
to find pig bones,
Hmm.
and then coincidentally the psychic was right? I mean,
Yeah.
it makes, well, I guess you would believe the psychic then
Yeah.
if that was the case, and maybe he didn't
Hmm.
know anything about it,
Yeah.
or if he wanted to interject what kind of game. But then he's having a bad day if uh he's having an extremely bad day
Yeah.
if he
If
meant this as a hoax.
and then
And you
they found the body. Surprise, surprise. Yeah. Not a very good look. Not a good look.
no, and
Uh,
to me a hoax makes this look wow, like
yeah. Just yeah. I don't know. It's strange.
extremely low in probability.
Exactly.
Um, I mean,
Yeah.
he did intend it for a hoax. I mean, if he is the offender and takes the police to pig bones,
Hmm.
I just
But
why did
maybe
he
he's one that. Go ahead.
go ahead? What? Yeah, that's what I was like. Why didn't he take him to pig bones over on the north side of the island? Then
Yeah. Or maybe he was one of those that thought, just say, that he is the offender. We'll just go with this for now. This theory, he is the offender. So he knew she was there, but he's like, I'm just going to play around with the police. I'm going to take them to the pig bones, and they're never going to find the body on the island. But lo and behold, his good luck. These two people find the body while the police are there. It's like, hey, we got a body here, and he's like, oh crap, you know, Uh, you know,
yeah, I mean, could that be kind of like a Zodiac style game? Although
exactly.
like, aha, I get to watch you look around for this body.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That you're never
all
gonna
the
find.
never gonna find, but you're near it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't know if there's that level of
Yeah. I don't know.
playing around with the police.
Yeah. But we do know that, like I said, that the Zodiac is a perfect example of playing games. They're the smartest one in the room. I'm not going to get caught. I'm going to play games. They'll never catch me. And well, with the Zodiac, they haven't caught him yet. But yeah, I don't know. It's just
Well, whoever the offender is, the profile of who they choose to victimize, um, yeah, it
I know
just
there's just so many similarities, in my opinion, just with the fighter, the athleticism, the somewhat the personality type. So I mean, how would the offender have known the personality types unless he had watched them, followed them, stalked them, whatever. But
well,
that kind of
if
wouldn't really fit in with my theory or one of my things that could have been just opportunity.
yeah, and I wonder if um that similar situations were going on with um a similar situation with the unnamed witness who talked about um who talked about him always in, like, constantly in
Mm-hmm.
the cafe. The other
In the
ones seem
cafe.
to
Yeah.
be. I wonder if there was some with the work, the video store.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Could
was
be.
an area that you would think if somebody's interested in the type of maybe fetishes that this person
Fetishes.
was
Mm-hmm.
into, that
Yep.
maybe they would frequent the area there, um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, where you could get those materials. And then
Yeah,
uh,
because Vicky, the first victim, was the one that worked in the video store, adult video store. So,
I often wondered if they ever went into. I've never heard it. The idea of these pagers. I think about this because of Rex Herman.
yep,
Um,
yep.
uh, um, I know it's back in the '80s, but how much could they track? What kind
I
of
don't know.
um, uh, so I wonder what kind of if there were some kind of communication or contact with these people,
Yeah,
with these victims,
yeah,
that um because it seems like in all of them he knew exactly when to strike. um
exactly,
because no hardly in areas that I think somebody should have saw something, maybe the bus
exactly.
stops in Waiapu. uh um Maybe I could see nobody seeing anything, but
Mm,
some of the others, I just like, if the incident happened in the parking garage with Vicky at the hotel,
mm-hmm.
I guess I could see the parking garage being kind of clandestine.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
um, but if it took place anywhere outside of that parking garage,
Mm-hmm.
um, I would imagine that it would be difficult to get. You would have to have a ruse of some sort,
Exactly.
which
Yeah.
it looks like he was doing with uh,
Yeah, trying to give
the
asking for
witness.
rides. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
was asking her for, or to take her, and
To take her.
waiting for them. And I wonder if because when she gives her interview, she's really, I think, I know it's years later, but she had a formidable personality. She wasn't timid. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
she was
Mm-hmm.
clear and distinct in her interview with Derek Levasseur,
Mm-hmm.
and so she was. Um, but yeah, she describes that she wanted to keep, even all these years later, and this is after uh, Howard passed away. Even though she identified him, apparently, she
Uh-huh.
still didn't want her name out
Yeah.
there.
Wow.
Yeah, but apparently, police have confirmed that they talked to her, I guess,
Yeah.
and so.
It's just wild. I don't know. This, like I said, this one has me confounded with all the similarities in the victims, with them, with Howard Gay, and all the coincidences with him.
But
To
at the
me,
same, yeah, but at the same time, um, there have been people who had all these coincidences and turn out not to be the
true.
offender.
That is true. So let's make this thing that this is what keeps me up at night. Things like this, thinking about this. Maybe that's why I don't get enough sleep.
Oh
Uh,
my, yeah.
I blame it on insomnia, but my squirrels in my brain won't quit running around. I think that's it.
Oh yeah.
Oh goodness. So let's see, what else did I have? I just had it was covered in the media. Case File True Crime Podcast covered it in October 2017. ID Channel, Breaking Homicide. Is that the one you're talking about?
Breaking Homicide.
Breaking
Yes.
Homicide covered it in
Yep.
May of 2018. I'm gonna have to find that. I want to watch that episode now. My favorite homicide podcast covered it in July of 2018, and then Ghost Lore of Hawaii podcast covered it in July of 2022, and then Crime Junkie podcast in July of 2023. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I
Oh,
think
yeah, that breaking homicide.
I agree with like Crime Junkie back there. They were really befuddled that because of all the physical evidence that they have,
Hmm.
um, that they collected. Why
Yeah.
can't we solve this? I mean, we've got
Yeah.
genetic genealogy.
Hmm.
We've got um, we could go to exhume the body of
Hmm.
take some DNA from his other son who's
I
still
was going to
living.
ask, take what family member does he still have family members alive that they could get DNA from?
Apparently, his other son is still alive, and if they have it's just like. But it doesn't. It seemed like in the Breaking Homicide episode with Derek Levasseur when they were talking to the lead. I think it's Chester Hughes that they're talking to. I can't remember, or the lead of prosecutor.
Hmm.
Um, at the end, he was kind of tear eyed but stoic.
Yeah.
Describing how what he would say to the victims' families, and he was very empathetic. Uh,
Hmm.
some of the mistakes they did, and
Yeah.
um, uh, and then, but it seems like they're happy to. He was kind of happy to say to conclude that Howard uh, Gay was the most likely um, person
Hmm.
responsible for it,
Yeah.
and that's as close as Le has gotten. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
could you? I mean, is there movement on like confirming this? Because if it's not,
Yeah.
then the
Then there could
person
be
could
somebody
still be.
still out there. Well, depending on how old it was mid 80s, so depending on the age of the offender, it's possible that they're still alive. I mean, although
Um,
the 80s, I don't want to think that the 80s were as long ago as they were. But anyway, that's a different story. Because I don't want to be old. But speaking of, I did have an article that I did find, or no, you found it, and I downloaded it. It's the HawaiiNewsNow.com article from 2006. I'll read it right quick. Um, get down to the past all the pictures here. So like I said, this is from 2006. It says the Honolulu Advertiser marks. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get down to it. Back in the 1980s, a series of homicides captured headlines. Five women were found deceased, and their offender was on the loose. The bodies were all found near water. Some of the victims were essayed. It says when you think of Hawaii, you often think of sun and surf, but all that changed in May of 1985 when the body of a 25-year-old woman was found at Kihei Lagoon. So that was Vicky Purdy. She was the first one. Retired Major Louis Souza, who of the Honolulu Police Department, said in 2002, he said, quote, first and foremost in an officer's mind or investigator's mind is that we don't want anybody else to get hurt, obviously. So over the next 12 months, Honolulu police would find four more bodies. Of course, there was 17-year-old Regina Sakamoto, 21-year-old Denise Hughes, 25-year-old Luis Medeiros, and 36-year-old Linda Pesh. So Souza said, quote, we had to go back and look at the files. First of all, if there was some connection between the victims. And I wonder if they did find any connection aside from just the bus stops and all the things that we mentioned. And he says there was not any that they could find, like personal connections where they would have crossed paths. He said, but there were similarities between the homicides, and investigators believed, obviously, that they were looking for a serial offender. Um, Souza went on to say, investigators, their pride is to try to solve it as quickly as they can. So police did arrest the suspect, Howard Gay, who we've been talking about. He was never charged. He later passed away. The case does remain open. And Sousa says, quote, just a simple arrest was satisfaction, but it was still frustrating that the state didn't feel that they had enough to prosecute him, end quote. So apparently that was the problem, is I guess maybe they thought, obviously, like we've been talking about, that he was a prime suspect, but they just could never get enough evidence to prosecute. So we'll never know. Like I said, unless they would get DNA and test DNA that I guess they found at the crime scene. I'm assuming from the ones that were SA'd is where they got the DNA.
Well, I
So
wonder if the um if the vasectomy has anything to do with that, or you know.
I didn't think about that. That is true.
But to
So
me,
then it,
just the way they're described, I mean, maybe the water as well. I don't know
yeah,
if I mentioned it. One of the victims was actually in that lagoon and was
yeah,
tied down
yeah,
so that
yeah,
they wouldn't wash away.
yeah.
The water can do some things, but it seemingly when they had the medical examiner on the Derek Levasseur, they had a lot.
A lot of
Seemingly,
DNA,
I don't. They didn't
or
specifically say DNA, but it seemed like there was a lot of sources of potential DNA that I
okay.
wonder that it seems like they would have a lot. I often wonder. My question after all of this is, where do they still have that evidence?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Do they still have it? Did they preserve it? Kept it? Well, obviously, when he passed away, so even if it did come back to him, what are they going to do to him? But and I wonder if the source of the DNA could have come from the bindings, like maybe skin cells or whatever, something.
And maybe they have,
Yeah,
tried and it just was too
just
degraded. It
wasn't.
was,
Yeah.
or they couldn't get anything from the
Hmm.
SA kit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. They
Yeah.
didn't. To me, I wish in all of these. I wish the breaking homicide would have pushed more on the DNA side, and
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm gonna have to find that episode. I don't know if ID Channel has a separate streaming service. Now I do have ID Channel on my satellite, but I want to find that episode and watch it as much as you've been talking about it, and also listen to the Crime Junkies podcast
I think I got it on Prime. I
on
think I had to
Amazon Prime.
purchase it though.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang it! Because I have Amazon Prime, but we don't have. We just have the some stuff is free, and then some stuff you do have to purchase. So I will
yeah,
look and see though.
yeah. I think I had to purchase it.
Yeah,
But you could purchase like the episode.
yeah.
Uh,
I might have to do
so
that.
I would recommend that one, and I might have to check out the my favorite offender. and
Yeah, my
cry,
favorite. Yeah. See, that is
and
one that I have not heard. I'll have to look that up. My favorite, yeah, offender podcast. I'll have to look on Spotify and see if I can find it, or Pandora.
Crime Junkie is a good one to listen to.
Yep,
And
I'm definitely gonna listen to that one. Yep.
I heard another content creator say they're not good at giving their sources, but Crime Junkie has a website where all their sources are listed.
Yeah.
So any
And I
episode they
mean,
have, they list
yeah,
their
yeah,
where they got it from. They might not
yeah,
mention it directly in the
yeah,
podcast, but they
yeah.
have it.
Because that would be kind of awkward. I mean, having to stop and say, okay, this is the source we got it from, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We kind
Because
of,
they have a very dynamic narrative
yeah,
storytelling way of doing it, which is pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
But it kind of sometimes leave you. Where did you get that information?
yeah,
But if you go to their website, they really spell out where they got that information.
yeah, yeah. I think I have listened. I can't remember. There was maybe one specific case that I was looking when I was looking to research, and I think Crime Junkies had done a podcast about it, so I listened to it. But I haven't listened to. Well, I haven't listened to any a podcast in a while. I just haven't had the time. But I'm gonna have to get back into doing it. So. Let's see. I think that is all I had. So if Josh, you have anything else, or if anybody has any other questions, comments, thoughts, theories, please put them in the chat.
Well, I really thought this was. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're
Did
absolutely
you say it was
welcome.
your first in this series?
Yes, this is the first one in the series.
Oh wow! And I this one hits home in a way, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel for and especially since Sand Island is involved. There's
Mm-hmm.
a Sand Island, the Sand Island story. I think you can find it on YouTube. Um,
Yeah.
kind of describes kind of how people feel about the encroachment
Yeah.
of their home
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
being priced out and pushed out
Mm-hmm.
from their home. So
Mm-hmm.
I encourage you, if you have a vacation coming up to the Oahu Island, if you love my content and my you like purple the way I like purple,
Go
and
subscribe to Josh.
absolutely, where lavender grows.
And I
Um,
do have it pinned to the top of the chat. Hopefully it's still there. If not, I'm sure Mustang can throw it in again, or anybody with a wrench. Josh, you could throw it in. You have a wrench. Well, I know since you're on StreamYard if you could do it right
yeah.
now, um,
Uh,
but yeah, it should still be pinned to the top of the chat. But yeah, if you have not subscribed to Josh, what are you doing with your life? And to go do it right now.
well, if you're planning a vacation there, just keep that in mind. When you just the problems on that island, everything looks beautiful. The
Mm-hmm.
the Waikiki beach and the volcanic rocks and the pebbles just stick to your feet, and you come out if you've got a cut or
Mm-hmm.
anything on there, it's gone by the time you're finished there. It's one
Wow.
of the most pleasant places. It has just gorgeous weather.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
There's
trust me. Yeah. I heard all about it when my family got back, and because I didn't get to go.
but
Not
there's
bitter
an
at all that I didn't get to go, but
but
yeah, but
just
they
like
said it
in
was just
this,
gorgeous.
yeah, it's just gorgeous. But there's an underbelly of a lot of
Yeah.
problems. And you can see it in this case where even there's in one of the victims, there's a year previous, there was at their workplace, there was unaliving there, two
Mm-hmm.
unalivings.
Two unalivings. Yep.
And there's just a lot on that island. There's a lot. And if you watch, like, one of the best ways you can maybe see some of that, I would gather. Um, my other camera decided to come back on. I don't know. Um, you could see kind of maybe from like Dog the Bunny but
The bunny hunter.
the
I
bounty
love
hunt.
it. So
Wow, it's
I would have
getting
watched that. I didn't watch Dog the Bounty Hunter, but I think I would have watched Dog the Bunny Hunter.
I don't know
Anyway.
what you think about his content. I'm not always but he has been involved in searching for missing people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't always like some of the tactics and whatever you think about it, but you can see
Mm-hmm.
the island in the
Yeah.
underbelly of
Yeah.
the island, some of the problems that
Yeah.
that because he
Yeah.
goes all over Oahu. You can
Oh yeah.
see Oahu and not just the pretty parts by watching
Mm-hmm.
Dog
Mm-hmm.
the Bunny.
Oh lordy.
Yeah,
It's getting late.
it's
It's past
getting
your
late.
bedtime. It's past your
Yeah, it's
bedtime. We'll
starting.
blame it on that.
Oh, did somebody ask about the West Memphis 3?
Yeah, Miss Miss Paula, no, Miss Paula, unfortunately there are no updates because I actually did because I got to thinking about it the other day. No updates. The last we had heard, was they had sent or was supposed to send the DNA, the stuff off to be tested. They were still fighting over, if FedEx was going to take it, if Uber, or if somebody in the van was going to take it, whatever, and where they're going to take it to be tested. I'm assuming it might. I don't even know if it has arrived. I think I read that it did arrive at whatever place was going to test it. I can't remember if they said, but so far we've got no information on if it's been tested, if they found anything. But believe, trust me, I will. Y'all will be the first to know if and when we find out anything. uh, Thank you, Mustang, for being here. She says thanks, Dawn and Josh. Great live. Thank you so much. Oh, did we lose Josh? I lost Josh. Thank you, Junior, for being here. You're welcome. I don't know if we lost Josh or not. Let me see if he's. Hold on, he may be down here. Is he back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there you disappeared. Okay, I see you now.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
have to figure out what the deal is with.
Sorry, you inherited my dumpster fire tonight, I guess. I'm
It seems like on
apologize.
my own lives, my regular camera keeps going, but when
Yeah,
I'm on here with somebody else, it seems like at a certain point it just decides,
just decides to go. Nope,
no.
I'm done. Yep, I'm done for the night. We're done. Cut. We're done. Wrap. That's a wrap.
Or maybe it's telling me bedtime.
Yeah. Yeah, we're fixing to get out of here because I need to get to bed too. Because I need to. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm still trying to decide if I'm gonna work tomorrow or not. It's gonna be hot tomorrow, and I don't have the car right now because my baby brother and nephew left this morning to go to Arizona to visit. My nephew's grandma lives out in Arizona, so I have the minivan, and the air is not the best in the minivan. So depending on
Oh
how hot
wow.
it is, I don't know if I want to be out schlepping groceries with the not good air. But anyway,
Oh my.
yeah. So I'll decide what I'm going to do. But anyway, thank you once again, Josh. Always a pleasure to have you here. Hope to have you on again at some point soon. Whenever I know you're busy, but just anytime you ever want to come on and talk about anything, a case, whatever, just let me know, and you are more than welcome. And if anybody else, when we're doing this serial offender series, we'll probably do. I'm thinking maybe once a month, do one. If you have suggestions for a serial offender that you want to see, a lesser known. I know Mustang had mentioned that she was maybe thinking about doing something on her channel, but Mustang, anybody is more than welcome to come up with a case that they've are interested in. Doesn't even have to be a serial offender. Any case that you think needs more attention, and if you want to come up and discuss it, anybody is more than welcome. But anyway, I will quit
And
blabbing now.
and thank you so much for having me here anytime. And
You are
likewise on
welcome.
mine, if just say the word and uh, and I'll be more than happy to have you on.
Thank you
Um,
so much, sir.
I
I
really
appreciate it.
appreciate this community, and
Yes,
we really have avoided drama in this
yes.
in this
And I think we
this
made it.
case.
We did not have one single troll tonight that I saw, unless our wonderful mods took care of it before I saw it. But I did. I have started putting it on subscriber only in chat, so I think that maybe helps a little bit with the trolls. Um, but yeah,
Ooh, all right. Well, have a good night.
you too. And once again, thank you so much. And I may hit you up because at some point we will get to Texas. So I was thinking about maybe when we do the Texas city, you can maybe pick out the city and come on here with me, and we'll talk about some
Absolutely.
cases if you'll be willing
Yeah,
to do that.
absolutely.
And if you're not free on Monday, because I know you said you're usually free on Tuesdays and Fridays, we can switch the Monday night to a Tuesday night whenever you're available.
Okay.
Um, but I would love to talk about some missing persons cases from whatever, if it's Lubbock or wherever you want to talk about, whatever city you want to talk about missing persons cases from when we get down to Texas.
All right. And I'll be going live on Sunday at 6 Central.
Excellent.
So,
6 Central.
all right.
Looking forward to it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys. Thank you so much for everybody that was here in chat. Once again, a big thank you to Josh. We love Josh. He is great. Once again, please go sub to Josh if you haven't already. Hopefully it's still pinned to the link to his channel is still pinned to the top of the chat. Thank you everybody that was in chat. Thank you to all the lurkers. Thank you to replay crew if you're watching on replay. And if you are watching on replay, please leave me a comment down below to let me know that you are replay. Speaking of Monday, we will be back, or I'll be back Monday. Sorry, I'm multitasking. Monday with our Missing Person Monday live, and I think we're doing either Iowa or Idaho next. I think it's Iowa. So I had to pick out the city. I'll do my research and get that all that ready for Monday night. So until then, and I should have. So today is Friday. So I'll try to get a pre-recorded video uploaded for either tomorrow or Sunday. And then when, like I said, Monday, we'll be back live for Missing Person Monday. So until then, be safe, be kind, just be a good human. Take care of each other. That we are all that we have. I love you guys. Thanks as always, for your continued support. Have a good weekend, and I will see you Monday.